But the day is a day of images. Images of violent face-offs. Street fights and clashes erupting over the battle that began at the Jawaharlal Nehru University over allegations of sedition, but which has now spread politically to different parts of the country and a sharply polarized opinion. Here are 5 of those images of the day. First, the day witnessing scenes similar to Monday, when a large mob of unruly lawyers took over Delhi's Patiala House Court premises. Remember, this mob soon targeted a journalist just like it did day before yesterday. It once again pelted stones at vehicles of media and OB vans. Angry lawyers defied a Supreme Court directive that restricted the number of people inside the court. Those are some of those stones which were pelted at journalists in the courtroom. The JNU president, Kanhaiya Kumar, who is facing a charge of sedition, faced the ire of the mob as he was being produced in the court. He was manhandled as a small group of policemen battled their way into the courtroom. That's the other image we saw today. The fourth image, where the street flames soon spread to Jadavpur University in Kolkata, where rival student groups clashed over slogans in support of Afzal Guru. Remember, rival groups there in Kolkata started this violence yesterday. Those are the images that have come today, and this is ahead of Bengal elections that are to take place in a few months' time. My fifth image comes from Chandigarh, where suspected VHP activists pelted stone on a CPM office to protest what they said was the CPM support to alleged anti-national elements in JNU. 5 images of violence in different parts of the country. But the epicenter remains the Patiala House Court in the national capital, where once again Gundaism was seen by lawyers, speaking, they said, in the name of nationalism. The lawyers were in flagrant violation of a Supreme Court. They ran riot, daring the police, who virtually seemed once again not to be able to do enough to control them. It's our top story tonight.
Scenes of complete chaos. Delhi's Patiala House Court turned into a battleground. The lawyers trained all guns on the JNU Students' Union President Kanhaiya Kumar when he was being taken into the court. The judge who sent him to 14-day judicial custody also ordered his medical examination. The report says he has injuries on his back and legs, his clothes torn and his slippers broken, although the police praised itself for saving Kanhaiya.
Police officers were covering him from behind, in front, and then one officer also put his hand in front of his head so that if anything was thrown, it didn't cause any injury to him.
What's perhaps appalling is that today's attack was led by the same lawyers who roughed up the students on Monday. This man, Vikram Singh Chauhan, evicted journalists and JNU students from the courtroom before thrashing them outside on Monday. Despite a complaint to police, there is no action against him. India today confronted Chauhan, but he showed no remorse.
अगर ये पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद कह के दोबारा हमें मारेंगे तो हम दोबारा मारेंगे इनको।
The Supreme Court has now summoned the Police Commissioner B.S. Bassi.
Lawyers are the officers of the court. Unless they do something which requires use of heavy force, which we always have the capacity to use, perhaps would have been inappropriate in this situation.
This is a custodial beating. These people have to be prosecuted and put in jail. Mr. Bassi has given direct patronage to a bunch of hooligans and goons. He has to be removed.
What may be called a travesty of justice, lawlessness continues to prevail at the Patiala House Court today. Even after the incident of day before yesterday, despite the orders from the Supreme Court that there should be due security in the court premises, vandalism, assault of journalists, beating up of Kanhaiya inside the court premises, attack and stone pelting on the Supreme Court committee, the special committee which was sent to the Patiala House Court, occurred all inside the Patiala House Court premises today. In the coming days, what needs to be seen is whether the Supreme Court goes forward and decides that there should be special conditions for this entire trial to happen. For right now, the stay continues. With camera person Pradeep Kumar, this is Anusha Soni for India Today.
Breaking news that's coming in at the moment. Sources now claiming that the Supreme Court appointed panel of serial lawyers has indicted the Delhi police for failing to secure Kanhaiya Kumar's security while he was being brought into the court. The team of lawyers led by Rajiv Dhawan and Kapil Sibal were also part of that Supreme Court appointed panel, also came into attack. They were also abused in filthy language. The team has recorded a video of statements made by the lawyers inside the court and the condition of Kanhaiya inside the court. We are told that this tape will be submitted to the Supreme Court tomorrow afternoon. Kanhaiya has reportedly claimed that he was beaten up on the way to the courtroom and inside the courtroom. Sources saying the police party with him tried to protect him, but the police inside the court allegedly did nothing to prevent the situation from spiraling out of control. I want to go straight first to our correspondent Ashar, who is bringing that breaking news on that Supreme Court panel report. Ashar, give us the details. Has the Supreme Court panel of lawyers, which is to submit this report tomorrow, indicted specifically the role of the Delhi Police Commissioner, Mr. Bassi, or are they going to speak in general terms about the role of the Delhi Police inside the court?
Well, at the moment, it's going to be just about general terms. What they said in the court when they went back, because the court was waiting for 15 minutes, that is the Supreme Court, they said that there was complete lawlessness. They've recorded what Kanhaiya Kumar had said and the conditions prevailing in the court. The team which went there was also attacked on its way back.
We will go with whatever.
At around 2 in the afternoon tomorrow, the panel would be submitting its report before the Supreme Court. What they're going to say is that there was complete lawlessness. People were allowed in the courtroom who ought not to have been allowed. Apart from lawyers, there were many outsiders also which were inside the courtroom. And the police presence outside was nobody was doing anything. In fact, it was a completely free for all. The panel which had gone there, consisting of 5 lawyers, they were attacked. Filthy language was used against them. In fact, stones were also pelted at them, but nothing untoward happened. So this is what the panel is going to say to the Supreme Court tomorrow.
No, but where does that leave? Where does that leave, Ashar, the fact that the Supreme Court had made it very clear that that Kanhaiya was to be protected, that there were only to be a limited number of people inside the courtroom, that this was to be a controlled hearing. Where does that leave what the Supreme Court said? And what are the options that the Supreme Court now has?
Well, the matter will definitely be listed. What we expect is that there would be summoning of the police commissioner, Mr. B.S. Bassi, because the court had earlier said that Mr. Bassi would guarantee the safety of Kanhaiya Kumar. These observations were passed by the Supreme Court. What is expected is that whatever happened today in the evening was in complete contravention to whatever the Supreme Court had said earlier in the day. So clearly it would be a rap on the knuckles for the Delhi police and also for the police commissioner.
We'll have to wait and see what the Supreme Court exactly says, how the Supreme Court views this. But I want to go to my first guest this evening. I'm joined at the moment by Vikram Singh. Vikram Singh is a former DG of police in Uttar Pradesh. He has dealt with such incidents in the past. He was with us 2 days ago. Then you were defending the role of the police. Can you defend the police anymore, Vikram Singh? The police was expected to provide protection to Kanhaiya Kumar. Instead, what happened in the courtroom today was clearly that the police seemed to give ample space for a sundry group of lawyers to again target Kanhaiya Kumar. How can that be acceptable? Will the police have to answer for this or not?
Mr. Sardesai, not any longer. It was the bounden duty of the Delhi police to protect somebody who is in judicial custody. More so, in the backdrop of his application, Kanhaiya's application, that he apprehended the breach of peace and assault on him in the court premises. When this came into writing, the Delhi police has faulted very miserably, and then to say that the Delhi police in fact put their hands before the person of Kanhaiya and obstructed the blows. They should have come as a human shield to protect him, because what has happened is unacceptable and unforgivable, and I'm sure the Supreme Court has taken cognizance of it, and it will deal with this misdemeanor very, very suitably. This man is in your custody, in safe custody.
Yes.
Please.
Go ahead.
Yes, I was saying that under these circumstances, it is a breach of trust. It should never have happened. And somebody who is in your care and custody to be bashed up, and there's a sickening feeling that perhaps did you turn away? Did you allow this to happen? Well, this remains to be seen and investigated.
You know, the reason I'm asking you this, Mr. Vikram Singh, is because what is increasingly becoming clear is what is being alleged by the opposition. The opposition today is calling for the sacking of the police commissioner, saying that the police commissioner has not followed Supreme Court orders, did not do enough to protect Kanhaiya in the courtroom, that the Delhi police's bounden duty was to protect someone who was being brought into the courtroom. The question will arise, what then are the options in such a situation? The opposition is now calling, as I said, for the head of the Delhi police commissioner.
The opposition has every right to call for what they are demanding, but the Supreme Court, now the matter is in the cognizance of the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will be totally unsparing. I can anticipate what's likely to happen in the next 48 hours. And the amount of evidence that you have, incontrovertible evidence that has been recorded by this commission of 5 eminent lawyers, other video footages, the other evidence that is being produced and adduced in the form of affidavits, that is going to be some task for the Delhi police to answer. They have a lot of explaining to do in the next 48 hours. And if they don't come out with flying colors in their explanations, well, I can see the writing on the wall.
You know, it's interesting that the police is now finally, even former policemen like yourself are admitting that this is now indefensible. Finally, someone is accepting that what has happened here is indefensible. Let me come to Sambit Patra, because I'm going to play 2 images before I come to him, because today's incident has come as a shocker for one reason. I want to play these incidents because the same people who unleashed violence on Monday were at it again. Now on Monday, remember, an FIR was filed against unknown persons. It was said that it had been filed against unknown persons. Now, despite all-round protests, a strict Supreme Court directive, the presence of Delhi police personnel, these scenes played out again today. The very same lawyers who beat up journalists and manhandled scribes indulged in violence, which is why I'm asking this question today. Is this the goon culture which we are seeing in this country in the name of patriotism? Is this a goon culture that we are seeing in this country in the name of patriotism? I'm going to be joined by different voices through this evening, but I want to turn to you, Sambit Patra. I'm tired of making this the usual tutu meme, where one side says one thing and the other side says the other, and the audience is not really, doesn't get educated beyond the noise. So forget the noise for a moment. I want to ask you a simple question. Can you justify anymore the fact that lawyers, some of whom claim to be BJP members, Mr. Vikram Chauhan on his Facebook account claims to be a BJP member, and he is spotted on both days involved in this violence. Why is the BJP not distancing itself? Why is it not condemning the behavior? Why haven't I heard Arun Jaitley, the Information and Broadcasting Minister, say a word? Even though journalists have also been targeted, even though he himself is a distinguished lawyer. What is going on, Sambit Patra? Is this not goon culture?
Rajdeep, in fact, before I move to the answer, I believe you must have missed out as to what Mr. Arun Jaitley, the Information and Broadcasting Minister, has already tweeted. He has condemned the kind of incident that has taken place in the Patiala court. He has also said that any attack on journalists is absolutely condemnable. So he has condemned it. I believe you would please go through the tweet. It is already uploaded. Many of the channels are carrying it as a headline as well. Secondly, as far as this incident is concerned, you are absolutely right. This is deplorable, and I, as a BJP spokesperson, openly say that this is condemnable. We have to condemn this, and the law has to take its own course.
No, my point is law has to take its own course, but the law is not taking its own course. How does the law take its own course when lawyers turn lawbreakers? For God's sake, sir, the law will take its own course if the lawyers do not turn lawbreakers. But here you've got a situation when lawyers who are affiliated to the BJP or claim to be affiliated to the BJP are turning lawbreakers, are targeting distinguished lawyers like Rajiv Dhawan were abused inside the court, were called Pakistan ke dalle. Is this the language to be used? Therefore, I'm asking you, how long is the government going to remain a mute spectator? It's not just about tweeting. This has gone beyond tweeting, Mr. Patra. This needs action. The days of tweeting are over now for politicians.
Two things. As far as the lawyers are concerned, I would not paint the complete community of lawyers in Patiala court in the same brush. I would rather say that, well, yes, there is a fringe component within the lawyers of the Patiala court, and they are the ones about whom we speak, about whose conduct we condemn. Secondly, continuously you have been saying that these are the members of Bharatiya Janata Party, or at least so they claim. I would say no. They are not members of Bharatiya Janata Party. They are not part of the Bharatiya Janata Party Lawyer Association. The Bharatiya Janata Party, you were saying whether we should distance from them or not. Leave aside distancing, we condemn such kind of behavior. And when I say law will take its own course, it is not just a euphemism that I use in saying so. In fact, we have heard as to what Mr. Bassi, the Commissioner of Police, Delhi, had to say today. He said that, well, number one, even I was watching the whole incident live when it was happening in Patiala court, and I had a question in my mind as to why the lathi charge or such kind of aggression was not shown. But then when Mr. Bassi was asked the same question, and he said that disproportionate aggression would not have been okay within the premises of the court, I believe, well, yes, might be he's right, might be he's wrong. But keeping all this in mind, the Home Ministry, Home Secretary to be particular, has asked for a report from the Delhi police. I believe things would be clear from the government point of view as soon as this report is submitted to the Home Minister. The Home Minister has taken this very seriously.
Sir, what is serious? How, first I can understand one attack takes place in the Supreme Court, and that is in some way seen as possibly an aberration or a choti ghatna, to use what was said by the police commissioner. But then 2 days later, the same lawyers are involved. Obviously, they believe they can get away with it, Mr. Patra. Obviously, they believe that your government is providing them protection, which is why they believe they can get away with it. You cannot deny this now.
Not at all. Not at all, Rajdeep. Let me say you categorically that none of the ones who have created any kind of ruckus, none of the ones who have tried to take law in their hand would be able to get away. This government is a strong government. Bharatiya Janata Party does not believe in any kind of violence in a democratic setup. But having said this, I will also come back to a point that if these people who consider themselves patriotic, if this fringe consider itself patriotic, that it has done a harm to patriotism because it has very successfully diverted the attention from the real topic. The real topic of discussion should have been the unpatriotic, the anti-national way of things that happened in JNU and Jadavpur University. Well, yes, I agree. Just a second.
It is precisely, Mr. Patra, it is precisely this defense. You see, your party seems to have decided that you are going to score politically by creating a nationalistic versus anti-national divide. You may well succeed. But this is no longer about winning elections, Mr. Patra. This is about the manner in which this country's constitutional democracy is to be run. If what happened in JNU is wrong, what happened in the Jadavpur University is wrong, what happens here is equally bad. This is pseudo-patriotism, where people are shouting Bharat Mata ki Jai and then beating up people in the name of Bharat Mata. And today you want me to focus on JNU?
Two things. You
are rationalizing this behavior.
First and foremost,
you are rationalizing this behavior.
Who is rationalizing? Rajdeep, I object to this. I have condemned it. I have minced no words to condemn this, and you are saying I'm rationalizing? No. I told even these people, because of their rowdy behavior, have successfully stolen the subject from its real self, which should not have been the case. I've objected to it. But remember, you saying that this is equal to what happened in JNU is also wrong, because what happened in JNU is fight against the nation.
Both are
What is happening
anti-India.
in Patiala
What
is
happened
fight
in
against the
JNU?
law.
What
No,
happened in JNU is
Just a second,
against the
Rajdeep.
Constitution of
Rajdeep,
India. You
I'm
could
hearing
argue.
you out, but you
And
should
what
hear
is
me
it?
out as well.
No, both are despicable
please hear me
scenes.
out.
Both are deplorable.
Rajdeep, let me complete, and thereafter you can please grill me hereafter. Number one,
Yes.
what happened in JNU and what happened in Patiala, both are incidences to be condemned. But remember, they cannot be compared. They are on different pedestal altogether. Both should be condemned. But with the fact that JNU was an anti-national event, what happened in Patiala is against the law of this country.
Okay.
And the law should take its course and catch up with the ones who tried to spread ruckus and unlawful activity within the court campus.
You know, I will, at this moment, I'm also joined by Prasanjit Bose, originally with the CPIM, but an activist of the left who has come through the students' movement. But I also want to go to Ramakant, a Supreme Court lawyer and someone who was apparently among those who were shouting slogans today and abusing people in the courtroom. Do you concede, Ramakantji, that you are among those today who are shouting slogans, yes or no?
I think, please check your facts, Rajdeep. I am all against that. So I have never been to the part of the assembly which created all that mess.
My producer says you were part of the group which was involved in the slogan shouting. You are denying it?
I'm denying it straightforwardly.
But you were supporting it? Were you supporting those lawyers or not?
Not at all. Absolutely not at all. So please check your facts first.
Okay, so you're saying you were not involved, you were not supporting those lawyers. Okay,
Absolutely not.
I will take your point.
Kindly understand.
Yes.
Please don't generalize the term as lawyers.
So who are they then?
Somebody who has created all that ruckus cannot be termed, cannot indicate the entire fraternity.
Okay,
the fraternity is not
exactly.
This person has hit the nail in the head.
Yes.
I fully, what an excellent thing he has said. But that is precisely where the problem started from. A handful of students, now the version is, even the Delhi Police Commissioner today said that outsiders may have been involved.
Yes.
A certain group of people shouted absolutely condemnable, absolutely unacceptable slogans in JNU. Handful of students. I think whatever videos.
You are accepting that?
Yes.
You are accepting that what was the slogans that were in JNU were equally condemnable, were unacceptable?
Today I am coming to your studio after I think more than a week or almost a week of that incident.
Yes.
I think, who has not condemned it, including the person who is in jail? Everybody has condemned it from day one. But so much of frenzy has been created that nobody is hearing the voices of sanity. The problem is that just like today, what this gentleman just said, that a handful of people have done it. Why are you generalizing as lawyers? A handful of students did it. You are generalizing the entire university as anti-national. This government, this police, this administration, and university in which Mr. Patra's own student organization ABVP, they are also there. You are running a campaign saying shut down JNU. What will happen to your own ABVP students? What will happen to your own students who have voted or who support the ABVP if you shut down that university? You tell me. This madness that has been, I'm utterly shocked by the madness that has been unleashed in this country over the past
You're saying this is a frenzy which
Absolute
is being
frenzy.
unleashed and the lawyers have got caught in that frenzy.
Lawyers, no. Absolutely deliberate political forces are involved.
You're saying these are not lawyers, these are political forces who are involved in this?
They may be lawyers, but they may be lawyers. Some of them are obviously not lawyers who are wearing black coats or whatever they are. Some of them are definitely lawyers, but there is a definitive politics behind that. Whatever they are doing. And political leaders have to own up responsibility.
One minute, before I get you to respond, Sambit, Vikas Singh, a former additional Solicitor General, joins me. Mr. Vikas Singh, is it true that the legal community has been infiltrated, and I'm using the word very carefully, infiltrated by political forces who are responsible for what happened today, or is a frenzy being manufactured? Is this all now a manufactured frenzy? Ki Bharat Mata ki Jai bolo, and if anyone goes to the courtroom with an alternative opinion, they will be called Pakistan ke dalle, including the distinguished Rajiv Dhawan when he went to the court today.
Well, I will tell you, Rajdeep, this will only be known when the detailed investigation takes place as to whether they were lawyers or whether they were people, in the garb of lawyers wearing those dresses. But one thing I can say with certainty, that these people, whoever are sloganeering there at the courts, cannot call themselves patriotic. Because if you are patriotic, you have to believe in rule of law. You have to believe in the judicial setup. You have to accept that even an accused of a heinous crime has full right to complete justice, has full right to be defended, has full right to be represented by a counsel of his choice.
Why is the league,
and
why
that he
don't
has to be given a proper hearing?
So then why don't senior lawyers like yourself identify, name and shame and ostracize these lawyers? It happened on Monday, it happens again on Wednesday. What does it show? Something tells me that either these lawyers are being instigated to do this, or a frenzy is being whipped up in the courts in the name of patriotism. For me, these are pseudo-patriots. But what is the legal community going to do about it? What is the if the Supreme Court Chief Justice's orders are not being followed by the police, are not being accepted by the lawyers, they were not supposed to be in the Patiala House Court in this manner today. Who are we to turn to then? Who are we, if the courts are not safe anymore, who are we to turn to, Mr. Vikas Singh?
Well, Rajdeep, that inquiry, according to my information, is still on.
Yes.
And the Supreme Court has also stepped in. So the Delhi police will have to find out who exactly did this, and I'm sure there are enough cameras around there which will help in locating. We can't prejudge the whole thing, because even those people who did wrong today, whether they were lawyers or otherwise, have also again a right to fair trial, unfortunately. And so unless they are properly identified, action will have to be taken both under the Indian Penal Code as well as in the Bar Council for trying to deregister them and take action against them. But that will have to be done only after they are identified and they are found that they are the ones
some of them have already been identified.
That is precisely
this is the double standard somewhere, Rajdeep. I think there are some double standards coming in here. You see, the point is, I think that first of all, a BJP MLA.
I'm getting you in something.
This is not the first instance. The same thing happened a few days back in the same premise of Patiala House Court. A BJP MLA, the front page news in national newspapers, he is beating up a person. Front page news is everywhere. What has been done so far with him? What more evidence do you need? He's an MLA. He has sworn the oath under this constitution to uphold the constitution and rule of law. Here is a BJP MLA on the front page of all national newspapers beating up another person. What more evidence do you need? And you are still saying that he needs to be identified? And you are the ruling party in the government? You don't want to apologize? You don't want to take responsibility for that? You are still saying evidence is required, and you already have the evidence that the entire JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University, a university of 8,000 students, is full of anti-nationals. That conclusion you have reached. But you have not reached this conclusion, that who from the BJP are involved in this. You first take action against your MLA, and then you talk.
Okay, 1 minute. Sambit Patra, it's very interesting. A delegation of journalists today went and met the Home Minister Rajnath Singh. When they told him about Om Prakash Sharma, the BJP MLA who was caught on camera engaging in fisticuffs outside the court, targeting activists, the Rajnath Singh said, you know what kind of a person Om Prakash Sharma is. Is this the answer that a Home Minister of the country should be giving? And is this what you want? Why has no action been taken against Om Prakash Sharma? 48 hours have gone. Why is an FIR not filed against him? Why has the party not in some way pulled up, suspended Om Prakash Sharma? Because that is why people believe what happened on Monday you can get away with on Wednesday. That's the worry. That's the fear, Mr. Sambit Patra.
Rajdeep, I hope you will give me some time. At least,
I will. And I want to. Please give me a concise answer.
Yes. Number one, There were two questions thrown on me. Number one,
Yes.
Mr. Bose in fact was in a frenzy today condemning as to what happened in JNU. I also throw a counter question to Mr. Bose, and then I come to the second question of Mr. O.P. Sharma. Mr. Bose, do you know the fact, I mean you are aware of the fact that as far as such kind of sloganeering in the campus of JNU is concerned, as far as celebrating the anniversary of Afzal Guru is concerned, it is not for the first time that it was done. It has been maintained since the last 3 or 4 years. Secondly, these are the posters and the pamphlet which were distributed by your organization in the campus of JNU since the last, say, 10 days. Judicial killing of Afzal Guru and the determination of Azadi of Kashmir. These posters were on everywhere in the campus since the last 10 days. But did you complain? No, no. You were chuckling, you were enjoying because you were a part of it.
Can we
now
now-
that the video
can
is
I
out,
now
you are left with
can you now
allow me to hear
Just a
this
second.
very
I will
serious
come to O.P.
allegations.
Sharma
Very
also.
you have to give
Just
me
a
time. I am
second.
not interrupting.
You did not
but you have to give me
interject
time
them.
to
Allow
counter
me. He has
this.
asked a question. Look at this.
Yeah,
All
please
of
go
you
ahead.
should be tolerant.
Please
be
go ahead.
tolerant to us.
I am very tolerant.
All of you. I mean, all of
I am
those on
very
the left.
tolerant.
They never complained. They never.
I don't
I'm speaking
engage
to
in
Mr.
thuggery
Bose.
outside the courts. I'm very tolerant.
No, not
I
at
don't,
all. I am speaking.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I am speaking to Mr. Bose.
Yes.
Mr. Bose, you
Please tell
said
me
that you
about Om
condemned
Prakash
it,
Sharma,
but
sir.
none of you condemned it because
Please tell me about Om Prakash Sharma now.
that you were caught. I
Please.
come to Om Prakash Sharma also. He has asked both the questions.
Yes.
So it is my duty to answer him satisfyingly on both the counts.
Yes.
Number one, if you knew about all these posters which you all pasted, you did not complain just because the videos are out. Hindustan ke 100 tukde honge, inshallah, inshallah, and you're left with no option. You have come with a false condemnation on the television channel. And secondly, as far as Mr. Om Prakash Sharma is concerned, Mr. Bose, you shouted at me today and you were asking about Om Prakash Sharma, but whisperingly I will ask you, your people are killing and butchering our people in Kerala. 77 people have been butchered on the streets of Kannur. Yesterday we have lost a small kid, 22-year-old Sujit, but yet you have the audacity of shouting at me. But well, yes, I agree. What Om Prakash Sharma has done, I believe if this is true, because
Suspend
Mr. Bashi
him.
has said that there are claims
Suspend
and
him.
counterclaims.
You are a party with a difference.
I am following what Mr. Bassi has said. Mr. Bassi has said there are claims and counterclaims. We have summoned Mr. Om Prakash Sharma to question him.
Right.
Let the questioning be over. Let the truth come out incomplete. Thereafter
Prasanjit-
we would respond, Mr.
Okay,
Bose.
okay, hold on.
But Mr. Bose, will
1
you
minute,
today
sir, now.
speak out as to why you are killing our people in Kerala?
You want to respond? The BJP
I will
is
be
saying,
very
no,
brief.
let's be clear. Violence is not the monopoly of only Om Prakash Sharma or the BJP. The left has had blood on its hands. Congress workers have been in.
Rajdeep, let us not generalize violence. We are all who are against violence.
He has made a specific
I am
charge
against violence.
that RSS,
Yes,
BJP workers have been killed in Kerala.
No, Kerala is a complete digression. I don't
Why?
even want
It's
to
a
go.
digression?
Whoever has killed any innocent person and violated the law of the land, whether from whichever political party, left, right, center, I condemn. All sensible persons should condemn, and the rule of law and the constitutional rule in our country should prevail. Full stop. Let us come to specifics. Let us not generalize. First of all, this Mr. Patra is a spokesperson of the ruling dispensation at the center. When was Afzal Guru executed? You please get your you are saying 3-4 years. For 3-4 years we have been mourning, JNU has been mourning the execution of Afzal Guru. Has Afzal Guru been executed 4 years back? You first you get your facts right. Secondly, you are saying your organization,
Can I
listen,
ask you
no, listen, I didn't interrupt. I didn't interrupt. Don't interrupt.
The death of the
I did not
CRPF
interrupt when you
jawans in
spoke.
2010.
I did not interrupt when you spoke.
Don't
Don't rant and try to disrupt my
This
whatever I'm
was the
saying.
third anniversary of Afzal Guru that you were
first of
celebrating.
all-
Third.
first of- let
Third
me-
anniversary.
no,
Get
no.
your facts right.
See, listen,
This
you
was
don't
the
have an
third
argument.
anniversary
You
of
don't-
Afzal Guru that you were celebrating.
No,
Right or wrong?
One by one,
request you
please.
to- I would request you
One
to
by
intervene.
one. One by one. Yes, Mr. Prasanjit.
I think that first of all,
No, you cannot question
first of
my
all,
facts, Mr.
From what
Bose.
I
If you
know,
question my
okay.
facts,
Okay,
I
it's
will
the
give
third
you the
anniversary.
specific
It's
fact.
the third anniversary.
Third anniversary.
from what I know, that most left and democratic organizations in JNU, they are opposed to capital punishment. They are not opposed to the execution of Afzal Guru. They are opposed to any capital punishment. And I think that in a democratic country...
But what was it?
Don't interrupt, please.
False.
I think that is a right which democratic
Judicial
organizations
killing of
should have.
Afzal Guru and Maqbool Bhatt.
Number one.
How is
Number
that
one.
opposed to capital
Number one.
punishment?
Number
sir?
two.
One by one,
How
one
is
by
that
one.
opposed to capital
Number two.
punishment?
Sambit, please.
As far as
Get your facts right.
as far as celebrating or mourning the death or observing the martyrdom of Afzal Guru is concerned, I can tell you, as far as the 4 main left organizations in JNU, I can name them: SFI, ISA, AISF and DSF. I know it as a matter of fact. I challenge Mr. Patra, Delhi police, any other whatever agency, intelligence, foolish agencies in the name of intelligence
1 minute,
who are saying Hafiz Saeed has supported JNU. These kind of agencies who run, I'm challenging you, you provide evidence. These 4 main left organizations who contest elections, who have won elections, the various posts in the past or even in the last elections, you show them, including Kanhaiya Kumar, where have any of these organizations or any of these individuals ever said that Afzal Guru is a martyr and Afzal Guru has to be upheld? They have opposed capital punishment. And I think that is a right.
1 minute. I want to.
None of them were organized. None of them were
I am switching off both your mics because I don't want for a moment frenzy. I'll come back to it. I want this now. Enough of frenzy. For the last 1 week, we have had frenzy on media channels, and this frenzy is now reflecting on the streets. And I think we as primetime anchors also have to take responsibility. It's time that we stop looking at every issue as black and white. This is an issue with complexities, with grays. My flash is already showing ABVP split in JNU. 3 members of the ABVP JNU unit have resigned. They posted a message on Facebook over their resignations, claiming they have been hurt by the way the JNU incident has been handled. So clearly this is an issue which is complex. It is not a black and white issue as some people are trying to make it out to be. But what is black and white is that no one has the right to use violence against the other. And that is what is really concerning me at the moment. Mr. Singh, you know, as someone who is an additional Solicitor General of the country, I'm going to ask you this. What is it now? What can the Supreme Court do now to stop the goon culture? I think we all agree. Sambit Patra agrees the goons must be stopped. Prasanjit is agreeing the goons must be stopped. You tell me, what can the Supreme Court now do?
I think, you know, what has happened today when the high-powered committee of the Supreme Court went to oversee what is happening at the trial court, and when they were also heckled, and I believe the lawyers, you know, did not let them do their job also properly. I think a high time has come where Supreme Court should, in these proceedings, you know, take up the people who are involved in all this and ensure that exemplary punishment is given to them.
No, like what? Can they be suspended?
The rule of law will take
Sir,
a
can they be
beating.
suspended? Can they be suspended?
Yes, of
can
course.
their legal licenses be cancelled?
The Supreme Court itself can't do it, but the Supreme Court can definitely make a reference to the Bar Council, and the Bar Council can, in an interim proceeding, suspend their licenses. And if necessary, they should also be arrested. I mean, why only a license? Why not they arrested and then if this matter is if there is sufficient evidence against them, their bail refused, and they should be taken into custodial interrogation as to who incited them, who is behind them, is there any political party behind them? I mean, all this will have to be looked into because it's a very serious matter. It affects the rule of law in this country. It affects the credibility of the very institutions which we all cherish. The judicial institution,
right.
This is the most respected institution in this country today. And if you allow this institution to be run in the manner in which it is being done, and this is all, Rajdeep, I must tell you, this is all for getting eyeballs in the TV channels, because unfortunately all these people get so much of media attention that one thinks that by doing all this they will become famous overnight. And this is to be deprecated by very stern action against them, because otherwise we will fail to remain.
You're making a very strong point there. You're saying that many of these lawyers are actually deriving mileage from what is happening on TV, which is why I'm going to ask all of you now. And I want both the political figures on my program, Sambit and Prasanjit, are you ready to step back? There's a parliament session starting in a few days' time. There is a country which needs to grow on a fast economy, where the economy is really on the brink in some ways. The rupee is reaching 70 to the dollar. and there are genuine concerns over the economy. At a time like this, is this the moment to fight these battles between nationalism and anti-national and resort to violence, Sambit Patra? Or is the BJP trying to distract attention from the other core issues facing the country? Should this be a moment to decide who is nationalistic and who is anti-national and virtually then rationalize the behavior in the name of violence? Because you say something on TV and you are seeing what is the fallout on the streets. Are you willing to step back now?
First and foremost, as far as stepping back is concerned, it is not the Bharatiya Janata Party whose lawyer wing is responsible for whatever is happening in Patiala. So surely we have maintained that we condemn it. Law should take its own course and the goon agents should be caught up with by the law. Secondly, as far as stepping back in the first case, that is JNU case and the Jadavpur University case is concerned, I believe there is a section out there which warns that we should step back from all these anti-national sloganeering that took place and no actions should be taken against these people, to which I say whatever the situation of economy, which I gather is extremely well than what it was during the Congress regime, whatever the situation of other things, we should realize that I and you exist only when India exists. So when there is a section trying to break India, the ones who try to make India should only step forward and curb them, not step backwards and not stop them.
Okay.
India is not so fragile.
Prasanjit, I want to understand this. And I'm going to be going in a moment to your home city of Kolkata, where again the violence has spread in Jadavpur. Is this all ahead of elections in West Bengal and other parts actually going to get worse? Are we reaching a stage where this frenzy is going to replicate itself in some form or the other in some part of the country? It could be Kannur one day, political violence, it's student violence in Jadavpur, it's what happens in Patiala court between lawyers. Is the left also willing to step back now?
See, I want to make two statements, one specific to JNU and one about the general thing that you said. As far as JNU is concerned, I think the real problem is that the entire police government establishment has interfered within an issue which is essentially a university issue. Let the institutional setup within the university
Point taken, because I've always been pushing for that. And what is your larger...
No, the JNU president has to be released. This is a complete injustice that has happened. How can there be normalcy with such a grave injustice? A JNU Students' Union president, a democratically elected student representative, being booked and languishing in jail for what? Even today the Delhi police is saying he upholds the constitution. Then why are you putting him behind bars? Set him free and then allow the university, the academic community to bring back peace and normalcy. Whether punishment, whatever it is, let the university decide. It should not be decided from Jhandewalan. That is the main point. And the Delhi police commissioner should not take dictates from Jhandewalan.
No, you're making a serious allegation. You're making a serious allegation that B.S. Bassi is taking dictates from Jhandewalan.
Absolutely.
You have no evidence of that.
I have evidence.
No, that is the rhetoric.
He was giving clean cheat.
That is the rhetoric which is troubling us.
He was giving clean cheat to only one organization as not being anti-national, and everybody else was anti-national on national television. It is all on record. He was saying only ABVP has not given anti-national slogans. We don't know about the rest. It has to be investigated. We are anti-nationals? Who has given you the right to hand out certificates of nationalism?
I would need 10 seconds
We may be opposed to BJP's ideology, but we all believe in Indian constitution, and the touchstone of our nationalism, patriotism, everything is the belief in the Indian constitution, not belief in BJP's ideology. You are conflating the two, and India is not so fragile that some idiots, they shout some stupid slogans and India will break apart. That is not the India, we be not so fragile.
Okay, Sambit Patra, I have a final word to respond to that.
A lot.
Please do respond.
First and foremost, well, he has the right, even in rhetoric, he has the right to say that Mr. Bassi takes a call from the RSS, because I know politicians use such rhetorics. But please, do you mean to say that the judges of the court also take dictates from the RSS? And the Jhandewalan?
Absolutely
because
not.
Mr. Kanhaiya was sent to the... Just a second, I was not interjecting. Just a second, Mr. Rasdeep, I was not interjecting. Mr. Hasdeep, I was not interjecting. Please
Yes.
hold Mr. Bose.
Yes, yes.
Number one,
Yes.
because Kanhaiya is behind bars today, not because of a diktat of the Commissioner of Police. He is behind bars today. He has been remanded because of a verdict of a court. So for God's sake, don't denigrate your politics to a level where you start alleging the judges of this country. Anyhow, the left can do anything. The one who can shout against the country can shout against anyone.
Let's leave
and
it there.
remember, Bharat ke 100 tukde karne hain is not against BJP. It is against ethos of
So we
India.
condemn it.
Please don't say
condemn it.
we have
We
the
also
right to
condemn
speak
you.
against BJP.
We
and
also
start
condemn
speaking
you
against
and
India
your role.
by giving pro-Pakistani
You have created this
slogans.
mess.
Okay, let's leave it there. This is, as I said, the time has come maybe to turn down the volume a bit, because the last thing we want is this frenzy to overtake us day after day. There is a time when you say it's time to press the pause button, and maybe that time in the JNU issue is now. Thank you all to all my guests for joining me. Let's not have a country of pseudo-patriots, for God's sake, is all I can say.
And Delhi Police Commissioner B.S. Bassi is presently at the Ministry of Home Affairs. He is meeting Rajiv Maharshi, the Union Home Secretary. From what we've been told, the current